The World Cup is here. My name's Corbin from the Parlay Club, and I've got the best bets and the plays the books do not want you knowing about. As always, drop a like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. Let me know who you think is going to progress, if you agree, disagree, all of that kind of fun stuff. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down groups A, B, and C. If you want a preview of the whole tournament, check out the previous video. I've created a playlist, so it should hopefully make it easier to find all the videos. Went through the whole kind of tournament, futures, who I think is going to win, top goal scorer, best bets, all of that fun stuff. So if you want that stuff, go to the previous video. And then I'm going to be doing, as you can see here, videos on previewing groups, all the groups, but I'm doing it in three groups of video. I think that's 4 videos, so basically one a day going forwards. Let's get right into it. Group A begins with Mexico, South Africa, and South Korea, Czech Republic. As you can see, I am a huge Mexico fan. Don't ask all the history behind it. Being an English person supporting Mexico, I think England are awful, and Mexico have always been my team. They're really exciting to watch. So I'd like to think I'm quite knowledgeable, having to stay up till 3-4 a.m. most international breaks to watch the Mexicans play. Where do I start? So let's begin with Mexico. They're the first team here. I think there are loads of positives for them going into this tournament. They play quite I like to call it a gung-ho kind of attack. Um, I think our biggest struggle will be breaking down certain teams, i.e. the likes of South Africa, maybe actually probably both South Korea and Czech Republic. I think Mexico will have most of the ball, and I think kind of breaking down that kind of part the bus style might be the hardest thing for Mexico. They have real quality and pace in the wide areas, and then they're going to look to feed Jimenez in the middle. Really, I think Jimenez is the main source of goals, which is the only thing I could say that we might struggle with. Too much reliance on him at 35 years old now. But again, he can be clinical, and I think definitely goals popping up from midfield and wide areas is on the cards for them. I think the conditions, obviously, this tournament's been played in USA, Canada, and Mexico, with Mexico playing all their games in Mexico, which I think is a huge factor. The heat, humidity, just the comfortability of them being in their home country with all their fans behind them, I think is really going to help Mexico throughout this tournament, including this first game against South Africa, where I think that's the most comfortable game. I think that's the game that they probably win. Again, I like the minus 125 for them to win the group. I think you can get you might be able to get better payout if you actually bet them across the matches. I.e., for them to finish top of their group, I think they have to beat South Africa. So you can bet that minus 225 and then roll that into, like, say, a couple of draw no bets with them versus South Korea or Czech Republic. Or you might, if they end up losing or drawing that game, that minus 125 is going to go towards the plus 150 200 range. I think them to qualify is also a good parlay piece at 1 to 10. Again, it's juicy odds, but you put that together with a few things, and I think that's great. A key thing I forgot to mention about the Mexican team is their defense has previously or in prior tournaments been their real Achilles heel, but they've shored that defense up significantly. I think I really like their right back, Jorge Sanchez, I think his name is how you pronounce it, but I think he's one to watch at this World Cup. I think he's a really exciting right back, and him getting forward and getting on the overlap with some of the pacey wingers, I think is really going to help deliver crosses towards Jimenez and kind of break down this kind of part the bus defensive style. So yeah, I really like the minus 120. I like that they're starting against South Africa, because that should mean if they win this, that kind of just gives them a huge good start. And I think, again, if they win this game, I think this minus 125 goes higher, despite them being hugely favoured to win this game and the group. Next team, Czech Republic. They've definitely regressed as a team. They're just kind of solid. They're just okay. They're definitely aging a fair bit, particularly in their midfield and defense. Although I do like one of the players in the attacking area called Sulik, I think his name is. I think they could be a strong defensive team. I think their games could lead to unders. I don't think their attack is particularly lighting the world alight, but I think their defense can be strong enough to hold some of these other teams. You look, they're playing South Korea, Czech Republic. I don't know off the top of my head what the line is for goals in this one. Where is it? Total goals. Again, I kind of like this under 2.5, under 3.5, maybe into a client play. We'll get on to South Korea, but I think Czech games are going to go under primarily due to basically the way that they play. They came through qualifying in 2 playoffs, both of them on penalties, so that doesn't particularly fill you with much confidence. Um, their main striker is Patrick Schick, who again is, I think he's into his 30s now. He's definitely getting older. He's probably going to be their top goal scorer. If you, I forgot what the odds are. I'm not going to jump around all the tabs, but Schick to be Czech's top goal scorer may be worth a shout, or maybe Sulik. Next, we have South Korea. Their coach seems a bit unsure from what I've watched and read. He kind of changes the formation between a 4 at the back and 3 at the back, depending on who they're playing. There just seems to be a bit of a lack of preparation and unity kind of in that camp. They're going to rely massively on Heung-min Son, who is the former Spurs player now in the MLS. I think he can produce moments. Whether he can be enough in all 3 games to help them get through, I'm not sure. We'll soon find out. They've also got Huang Chan, who plays for Wolves, but again, majorly inconsistent. Their defense is kind of meh. It's not very good. It's kind of okay. I think, again, similar to Czech Republic, I think they're going to lead themselves to unders. So that first game between the Czech and South Korea is going to be pivotal, I think, for who goes through, particularly in second place. But also leads to some unders. You can get Son to be South Korea's top goal scorer at plus 250. Again, that feels generous. It kind of feels like any chances or anything that's being created, if they're going to score a goal, it's going to have to come through Son. So I really like that at plus 250. And overall, I'm a bit surprised here that South Korea is favoured over the Czech Republic here. Don't have a strong opinion on it. I'm just surprised that I thought the Czech would be second favourites here. And then finally, South Africa, there's not much to say about them. There's a reason they're plus 1200. Let's go to qualify. Again, them to qualify as plus 120 is for a reason, which is going to go to why I like them at minus 120 to finish bottom of the group. They're going to sit behind the ball. They're going to play counter-attacking football. They have some pace, but again, I don't think they have the clinicalness or the kind of chance creation. They don't have the creativity ability to go against some of these teams, particularly the Czech and Mexico, I think. So yeah, I really like them minus 120 to finish last or bottom of their group, which means they obviously do not qualify. If I had to predict, I'd probably go Mexico win the group, Czech Republic second, South Korea third, and South Africa in fourth. But yeah, huge fan of Mexico. Think they're going to go well here. Wouldn't be surprised to see them even get through some of the knockout stages, quite honestly. On to Group B, which is Canada, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Qatar, and Switzerland. Let's start with Canada here. So they're obviously one of the home countries that I mentioned, so they'll be playing their games predominantly in Canada. They like to play 4-4-2 and kind of press. They have quite pacey wingers again on the wings. I think a lot of their tournament is going to come down to Alphonso Davies being back. He's definitely out of game one, but when he comes back, I think is going to play a huge factor. And again, when he comes back, how many minutes can he play? What level is he going to be up to straight away? Because he's obviously injured, so I think that's going to be a huge factor. I really like Canada's striker Jonathan David. Again, I struggled to see them creating a lot of chances and then taking them. David is playing, I think, at Juventus now. He hasn't had a particularly good year. But again, when you're that main man for the likes of Canada, always are going to be on him to score the goals, I think. Their defense has improved a lot. 8 goals in their last 9 is not great. 4 of those teams they didn't score against, including some subpar teams. We'll get onto where I think they're probably going to finish second in this group, but they're definitely one to watch. They surprised everyone, including me, at the last World Cup, where they had a couple of really good games. I think they've maybe regressed a bit from there. But again, you look at this group and they should probably finish ahead of Bosnia and Qatar. Hence, this first game being minus 125 on Canada to win. I think they have to win this game, or at least draw, to make it out of the groups. I don't have much on Bosnia, to be honest. Again, I think they're completely uninspiring, aging team. They came through the playoffs in pretty uninspiring fashion, even. They just didn't have a good qualifying campaign. I feel like the way they got here was more through Italy, etc., being bad as opposed to them being good. They're really low scorers. They play quite direct. To Dzeko, again, aging, he must be in his mid 30s at least, if not 37 plus here. I think they're gonna struggle to qualify, maybe as a third place team, but I think you can go to unders with them as well. I'd love to get a Bosnia under, maybe a Bosnia under versus Canada could be a good shout. I don't think Canada are particularly lethal, and I don't think Bosnia are going to be scoring many goals either. Similar theme with Qatar, again, counter-attacking team. They don't have the quality to break these teams down. I think they finish bottom, which is, I think it's, minus 200. I had it wrote down as minus 250, so that's even better. Again, I think Canada and Switzerland are classes above them, and I think they're going to really struggle. Their only chance of picking up any points is against Bosnia. Again, I think at best they get a draw, which wouldn't be enough for them to qualify and would probably lead them bottom. You can get them to score under 2.5 goals, again, which I like. I think that's around the minus 200, minus 250 range as well. Again, they're not going to score. I would be shocked if they scored against Switzerland. Bosnia have got an okay defense. Again, I don't see how they create and break down that Bosnian team. And then, so maybe they sneak a goal, maybe two, between the Canada and the Bosnia game. But to get to 3 goals, I think is crazy. So yeah, I would quite like Qatar to finish bottom, and I like them to score under 2.5 tournament goals. And then on to the team that really should be winning this group is Switzerland. They're solid all round. They've got some really promising players. I'm going to butcher his name just like a few here. Manzambi. Sorry, horrible pronunciation, but he's attacking midfielder, comes from Freiburg, and I think he's got to start in this tournament. He's been slowly forcing his way into the team. He's had a great year, and I think they need him in the team near Mbolo to kind of create and take some chances, because all these three teams, maybe not Canada, but Bosnia and Qatar are certainly going to sit every player behind the ball. They're going to have some magic to break these teams down. I do think they win this group at minus 135. I think, again, that's a great bet. I like when these strong teams start off against my weakest team. So minus 425, again, why they're only minus 425, I don't know, because I think Qatar are shocking. So I think Switzerland win that game, and I think that minus 135 becomes minus 200 or even better. So yeah, quite like Switzerland to win this group. I like Switzerland to beat Qatar, and I think that's going to set up really nice for them. My order, I've got Switzerland finishing top of that group. I've got Canada finishing in second, Bosnia in third, potentially qualifying. Again, kind of depends, because I don't think they're free scoring, but I think they beat Qatar, but I don't know if they score enough goals to finish in the top third place teams. Qatar in fourth, and another way you can bet this is you can bet Switzerland to finish top and Qatar to finish bottom at plus 150. I don't know if I can do it on DraftKings per se. No, I don't see it, but there are books out there that let you play Switzerland to finish top and Qatar fourth. I like both those bets on their own and together. Quickly want to mention what we got up for clients. So these are my best bets and that I recommend after all my research that you can go and get at my DubClub. If you come to either my link me in my bio, you can click on the top one, which takes you to my DubClub. running a promo at the minute, which is $15 off this monthly subscription in the middle. Promo code World Cup, all one word, gets you $15 off. And that doesn't just include World Cup plays, it includes the World Cup futures, any plays I have for the matches throughout the World Cup. Wimbledon begins in just under a month. We just had the Roland Garros final where we hit Zverev to win the tournament as a future. So yeah, really, and on top of those two tournaments, you get anything else we have in between: golf, F1, motorsport, darts, you name it. We'll probably have a play on it. If you're new to this kind of industry and you're like, what does client plays mean? Again, these are I've looked across all the markets, stats, data I've researched, and I like to think I know quite a lot about sports. These are the best bets that I recommend you go and play yourself, which in turn generates you money, basically. Records have been historically good. 16-6 on futures just this year alone. 130, probably more than 130 units worth of profit after this weekend, which means you don't have to have a large bankroll or be a big bettor to succeed with these client plays and make your money back and profit. $10 bettors, so if you bet $10 for every percent that I recommend, would be up over $1,300 this year, which is incredible. And I highly recommend it with the month that we've got upcoming and the history. I've never had a losing year, made money every single year, made like 140 units in half a year last year. So everything's kind of looking good. So yeah, if you want to jump on, promo code World Cup gets you $15 off the monthly subscription. Any questions, information, anything else you want to know, obviously drop me a comment or a message. If you want to see what kind of plays we have, if you come to the link me in my bio here and click on the spreadsheet for the plays and record, this is every play that we've had this year, records, wins, losses, all of that kind of stuff, trying to be as transparent as physically possible. So yeah, check it all out. Let's get back into the final group for this video, which is Group C. In this group, we have Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Let's start with Brazil. I really struggled to know what we are gonna get from this Brazil squad, not just in the group stage, but throughout the tournament. I think they're gonna have to rely on Vinicius Junior and Rafinha, but outside of that, I think they're really shaky, particularly in midfield and from the bench. They're playing probably Casemiro and Bruno Guimaraes, but Casemiro historically gets injured or can't play 90 minutes throughout his career, particularly recently given his age. And the backup for him is Fabinho, who's out in Saudi. Again, just doesn't fill me with confidence. You look at their defense, it's really unreliable as well, particularly in the fullback areas. They've not got any kind of class there. And their striker as well, I wrote ew because they've got either Cunha, who's not really a striker, they've got Igor Thiago, who scored some goals for Brentford, but again, he's not the quality for Brazil. They've got so many injuries stacking up. They were shaky in qualifying, but improved when Ancelotti came in. I mean, they probably do just win this group at minus 310, but I would not have any bets on them to get, say, quarters, semi-finals onwards. I think they're really going to struggle, particularly with after the season some of these players have had and the aging of their squad. I think they're really going to rely on more outscoring teams than anything else. Scotland, again, it feels like a similar theme for this World Cup, but a really aging squad, real lack of goal threat. Their standouts for me are McGinn and McTominay still, who are getting goals and creating from midfield, but you look at their strikers and they're not up to the quality that they should be. I think their top goal scorer is nearly always McTominay, scoring or crashing the box from midfield, so he could be a good shout for Scotland's top goal scorer. They've been really shaky in recent months, and I think they're going to struggle this tournament. It's going to be touch and go whether they make it out of the group. They have such a awful goalkeeper. Historically, I've always had bad goalkeepers for Scotland. I think the current selection kind of shows that. Their defense has been shaky, and I think against Brazil and Morocco, they can come a cropper. I think they're almost nailed on for that third spot. You can get them to finish third at -120. Again, I think that's pretty good. Fourth team is Haiti. Again, doesn't have the quality. They're going to park the bus and counter. They do have some pace, but their strength of opposition that they've played and the competitions they play in are poor, to say the least. They're -600 to finish bottom, I believe. -575 on DraftKings. Again, I don't really see how they don't finish last. I think Scotland have enough to beat Haiti or at least draw with them, and I think the goal difference is going to stack up against them. You can get Haiti to score under 1.5 goals at +100. You would we'll get on to Morocco in a second, but defensively they're really good. I would be surprised if they scored against Morocco. Brazil, despite what I said about their defensive flaws, I think they're just going to control the game, and I don't think Haiti are going to score against them. So I think they definitely go under 1 goal or under 2 goals against Scotland. Scoring 2 goals against them would be kind of crazy. So, and that's +100 for the under 1.5 goals on Haiti. Final one for this group is Morocco. Again, they lost in the AFCON, but the federation decided to give it to them anyway for reasons I still don't agree with and believe. I really like their team chemistry. Defensively, they're really good. I'm not sure if they have enough in attack to go far enough, but I think they definitely should get out of this group. You can get Morocco to score under 6.5 goals at -120. Again, I haven't fully mapped out the whole draw, so I'd have to check who they would have in the round of 32. But again, scoring 6 goals in a group stage and potentially 1 or 2 games, I think is too much for Morocco. Interestingly enough, Brazil and Morocco face each other, so that's going to have a huge impact on the kind of futures and the odds in this group. If Brazil go out there and win, those odds on Scotland and Morocco to qualify are going to change drastically. Again, I think even if Morocco lose that game, I think they still can beat Scotland and Haiti, but I think that -1,000 could also drop. But then on the flip side, if Morocco sneak a draw or win, those odds between -1,000 and -10,000 are going to flip, and Morocco will almost be a certainty to qualify. Again, if I had to rank this group, I have got Brazil first, Morocco second, Scotland third, and Haiti fourth. That exact order is +180. I think there's quite a few groups like this we'll get on to in next videos and groups, but I think there's quite simple, straight forecasts that you can do. So you would go to, I don't think they have it on here. They have dual forecasts, so +100 on Brazil first, Morocco second. Again, shop around, kind of go with what you can here. But I think Brazil, Morocco are the two favourites to go through. I think Scotland probably get through in third, and Haiti definitely finish fourth. And that will wrap it up for groups A, B, and C. Obviously, going to do D, E, and F in a video, G, H, I, and then J, K, L. Going to try and do one video a day between now and the World Cup starting on Thursday. As always, if you want to join up and get the full client plays, which are all the best bets, not just the ones I've mentioned, but really the best bets out of everything, not just soccer, tennis, darts, motorsport, golf, everything. So use promo code WORLDCUP for $15 off. Like, comment, and subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you in the next video.